Hear all about the weekly news. Well, Greg and Mike keep us amused by telling jokes, try not to lie. We'll fact.
Hey, Sunday Papers people. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. All of it. Just a short little message to say I'm an idiot and I forgot to press record on this thing for the first 35 minutes. So just bear with me. The audio eventually gets good, but I am not a professional. Here's the proof. Here is my setup. There is an ice bucket and then a garbage can. And then there's where the magic happens in New York City. So I'm not great in a dimly lit hotel room, but there it is. Anyway, happy holidays. Thank you for listening. And here comes some shitty audio.
Check.
Who's gonna clap?
Dog. Hey now, let's clap it in. 1, 2.
There it is. 1, 2. Hey, I clapped and did that.
Read
And
all
is it
about it.
Christmas?
Extra. Read all about it. It's Christmas Day. The Lord has risen. Oh, no, he didn't rise. He was born.
What?
3 wise men came to the manger today. They bought gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Well, the true miracle is that Jesus of Nazareth was born in Bethlehem. How did that happen?
Yeah, right?
That's the miracle.
That's like when one of those housewives of Orange County all of a sudden is on the New Jersey season.
Is that what it's like?
Yeah, they mix it up sometimes.
It is sacred, that show. It is sacred. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you're with your families and you are finding a way to see the humor in it all.
Yeah. Why? Are they struggling? Is that
yes, many people struggle.
That's the assumption that you're working under?
I don't. I actually really enjoy being around my family at Christmas, so I can never relate when people talk about all the stress. I have
your family can.
There he is, Mike Gibbons in New York City. Where are you staying?
Look at the puffy face. Look at the puffy face. I got to start because I've been drinking a lot. I got to start doing that ice thing. You slam your face in ice water.
Yeah.
What was it? A new drug. It was in he put it in a music video. Huey Lewis did.
Huey Lewis in the news.
But it's listen, it's inflammation. It's a popular thing. Okay. So I walked around our old neighborhood and we were a little further apart. You were Mulberry, right? 241
Mulberry Street.
Okay. It's a mall now. It's boutique. Yeah, listen, I know we're sounding, I'm such a tourist in New York at this point. But anyway, I went and I found your doorway. And because I know the Ravenite Social Club was across the street.
No, on the same side of the street, one door over.
Oh, it was one door over. Okay.
Right.
The woman, no, across the street was the woman running numbers out of the window.
Yes, Gina.
Right. Oh, it was Gina?
Yeah.
And I walked by where I think Buffett, was it Buffa's?
Yeah, Buffeteria.
Gone, of course.
Yeah.
And there's all these little boutiques, it's crazy. And big chains also. I mean,
really?
Fancy chains, you know, that one place, La Lobe or whatever it is, that La Labo that makes candles. They're on Abbot Kinney and they're on your street. It's crazy.
Right.
All right. So I'm on Ludlow where we used to come. Katz's Deli is on the corner. Every day, I don't know what happened. Other New Yorkers are like, yeah, that's kind of new. Every day, a line down the block, like it's a Disney ride.
For Katz's Delicatessen?
Yes.
Yeah.
But everything is touristy. I mean, I landed on Sunday, and I thought 4 o'clock, so I thought I'd sail right into the city. Hour cab ride on a Sunday afternoon to get into New York.
How much was it?
I think I got it for between 50 and 60. I don't know how many tolls they added.
Okay.
Oh my God. But so I took a cab last night up to eat dinner with my stepsister and brother-in-law. But anyway, Tim and Jenny, who you know, and they're the best. And I took a cab up. The cab started with extra charges. I get in and it's $650 or something like that. And I'm like, what? I don't know if there's a prime time charge, but I do feel like an alien or a 90-year-old man when I'm here. And then just to go, I'd say it was a mile and a half. It was $12 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
No, I mean, I'm going to New York Wednesday, and you just turn your pockets inside out, and you put your hands up, and you go, just take it all. You know, you go out to breakfast, and it's going to be $60 for 4 people. Yeah.
I remember we used to say it's like a $20 cover charge just to leave your apartment. You're like, I don't think I bought anything.
Right.
Well, you took 2 subways, and then you got a paper, and you got a coffee, whatever.
Right. So tell me about the hotel you're staying at. This is the place that the artist place?
The artist place?
Did you say only artists could stay there?
No. I'm just saying Katz's Deli. We used to venture here because this was one of the birthplaces of alternative comedy. Luna.
Oh, I'm thinking of Tom. Tom found a place in New York that's only for artists, and it's $75 a night. And it's on like 23rd Street on the east side. Yeah. But what's the name of your hotel?
The Ludlow Hotel, I think.
Yeah. I stayed there once before. It's very cool.
Oh, it's very cool. But the only reason you can see me right now is because it's late enough in the day and the sun is heading west, because the rooms are so dimly lit. Again, it makes me feel like the oldest man in the world. I'm like, I can't see a goddamn thing in here. And that's with the lights maxed. They have like designer dim lights.
Yeah. I find that in a lot of hotels these days. They try to go chic and they forget that you actually need to see your way around the room. It's like they'll have a couple corner lights, nothing overhead.
Yeah. No, and everything's flattering. You're like, I guess I can, I guess I look good. And then you go down in the lobby, you're like, oh my God, like my fucking hair is crazy. So anyway, there's 2 hotels on this shitty little street we used to come to, which was Nowheresville.
Yeah.
And
no, it was dangerous. I remember when I used to go to Luna Lounge, it was dangerous to go down there.
And now across the street, I think where Luna Lounge was, is a giant, like tall, like I think it's the Indigo or something, a tall hotel. I don't even know how they built it, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know how you build a tall building in New York. I really don't. Your cranes are on site. It's a real feat, I got to say.
Went to a few Christmas parties. I haven't embarrassed myself too badly in terms of not remembering people. Couple people. Right. I've just decided I'm done trying to be. I did the honest approach for a while where I'd go like, I'm sorry, I don't remember. No. That never works. People do not forgive that. So from now on, I just go, hey, what's happening? Great to see you. And I just go full hog with every single person I see at the party.
Instead of what? Saying sorry?
Instead of going like, hey, I'm sorry, where we met before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's my whole life. It's the upside of getting the name right is not worth the downside of not getting it right.
Right.
Yeah, big time.
A lot of people said hi to you. I was at a party last night. Benji Aflafo says hello.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Andrew Santino said you guys were talking shit about me.
Probably, yeah. That tracks.
Bobby Lee was there. Spade.
How was the party?
Spade asked about you.
Come on.
Yeah.
Wow. I think you're just flattering me now.
It was a good party. It was up at I shouldn't say whose party it is, just in case somebody wasn't invited and they get offended.
Yeah, don't say it.
But it was a big comic who just bought like a $7 million house that overlooks the city. Beautiful.
Joe Rogan's birthday, Christmas party.
And then this past week, I went to a funeral for our dear friend Zoe Friedman's mother, Silver. Right. And Tom O'Neill was there, our friend Tom O'Neill, who wrote the book Chaos.
Now, why was he there?
He was there because Tom is old school Irish. Old school Irish people go to funerals. Like that's what they used to do in the Bronx. You would on the weekends, you would just go to funerals. You didn't have to know the person that well. And so he showed up because he wanted to see what big comedians would show up, which were not a lot. There were There were a few famous comics, but nobody huge. And
right.
Marin sat next to me and talked throughout the entire fucking ceremony.
How respectful.
And then we went over to Zoe's house for food. And, you know, Zoe's mom, Silver, who passed, lived in the guest house in the back for the last 18 years. And so she is gone. And Tom O'Neill wasted zero time in scouting out the back house and starting to drop hints to Zoe that he would move in.
Another old woman in the back house. Another busy gossip old woman.
Yeah.
Who has no boundaries in the back house.
Right.
Oh, no.
So,
well, he's supposed to come here tonight. He is coming here tonight. And then like his American flight got canceled anyway. He's been dealing with it all day. And, but yeah, I guess he's staying in that artist hotel and trying to see him. And then he's coming to see you at Caroline's.
Coming to Caroline's. And then there's these few people in town. I think Dimples Liz is around, and Mary Fitz is with her sister. She's going to come down to the Caroline show, which should be fun. I talked to Attell last night. He might swing by.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
he's doing the final. He'll be there for the final shows at Caroline's, December 26th through the 31st. Get your tickets, and you're not going to want to miss him in the last week at Caroline's before it closes. That's going to be amazing.
Well, you're going to get a nice temperature drop. Oh, man, New York is just missing a white Christmas. Rain Thursday and Friday, and it somehow makes it up to the 50s. And then it drops off a shelf Saturday down to 13 degrees. 13 to 21 and windy.
Oh.
And then today, that's what we're talking about, I guess. Christmas Day, 15 to 28, but sunny.
No.
Where are you waking up Christmas morning?
On the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and we'll go over to Erin's got two nephews who are very cute, and we'll spend Christmas morning with them, watch them open up some gifts, and then we jump on the train and we go up to Westchester.
Aren't these cute nephews in their late teens?
No, they're like maybe 11 and 7.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. All right.
And then we'll go up to Westchester to my family's for Christmas dinner, and then spend a few days up in Westchester at my sister's house.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Not enough time, though. It always, whenever we book it, we're like, we don't want to go for too long. And then when you start actually trying to figure out who you're going to see and when, you realize you have no time at all.
Right. Yeah.
Should we talk about the World Cup? Or is it too late? It's too late to talk about the World Cup.
Not too late for me to talk about it. So I get on a Spirit Airlines flight when it's 2-0. I know it's Sunday morning quarterback, but I will say this. I'm on the plane watching on my phone while we're sitting, boarding. And I get to watch before we take off until it's 2-0. And when I saw the Argentinian guy crying, and then the whole team huddled, and they were all crying. And then the guy very carefully cut to like a French guy who just had the most determined look on his face. I was like, this is not over. And I also thought, if you're a coach, how do you turn that around? Because if you're crying and thanking God and your mamas and all that, like, it's very hard to remind the team that, like, you are playing the greatest team on earth, and all they want to do is tie this up or, obviously win, score.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my last thought. We take off. Oh, by the way, Spirit Airlines, there's no Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is broken. So there's a bunch of these very, very passionate, intense Latinas on board. And so they asked for scores because everyone can't believe there's no Wi-Fi now. So the pilot would give an update each time. So he's like, okay, a little World Cup update. It's 2-1. Oh, fun! The play was, and it's like, it is now 2-2. When he announced it is 3-3, and then an overtime or extra time is over, and they're going into penalty kicks, the plane went fucking crazy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it went crazy because it is clearly at least one of the best World Cup finals ever.
It's the best. They say it's the best World Cup finals of all time.
We are stuck on a fucking plane where the seats don't even recline and there's no Wi-Fi, and you can't even like follow the game via Twitter. And so everyone was fucking losing. I told you anyway, quickly, my worst missing out on a television event ever was, I'm in my 20s, whatever, it's Tyson Holyfield. I'm in West Hampton Beach, and it was a pay-per-view, but what they would do is they would sort of, what's it called? Like, they would block the feed. If you didn't pay for it, it was scrambled. That's the word.
Yeah.
They would scramble the feed. So you'd kind of be able to see it for a second, and then you'd lose it, but you'd hear audio. And no joke, that's the one where Tyson bit Holyfield's ear, and the announcers literally said, like, I can't believe what I just saw. Look, and they played the replay, and I'm like, what the
Yeah. Fuck? Wow.
So that was my World Cup experience.
So I should mention a friend of the show, David Chamberlain of recordla.com, did a very cool, he re-edited and re-engineered some sound bites from us for the 12 Days of Christmas, and he put this together. So listen up. I thought I'd surprise you.
Yeah.
Fuck the golden doodle front of the kids' wreck nativity scene. Stole a car.
Crashed the car into a cop.
This is definitely year-end Florida Man Award nominee.
All righty. I thought it was going to be 20 minutes long. That was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Holidays. We should also thank this week's song was from Patrick Godfrey. It was very cool. The logo, well, we didn't pick the logo. There's 3 to pick from. You have to choose which one you want.
Me?
I kind of like the first one.
The first
I guess
one,
let's show them all. Let's show them all.
the first one's very cool. Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life is funny. I like the first one too.
All right, let's do the first one. That's from Bruce Wise.
I like all of them, but
Thank you.
yeah.
Hand drawing the nativity scene with us in it. And then,
are we the 2 wise men?
Yes.
All right.
I've got the myrrh, and I've got a rubber chicken in my hand.
And you're choking your chicken. I think that's what that means.
Correction, Daniel Goodman says Brazil-Germany World Cup. Correction, that game was 8 years ago, not 4.
Holy shit. That can't be real. I think it is.
Yep.
You know what I did? You know what I did 4 years ago was I went to Wurstknuckle, on Lincoln. It's like the German bratwurst place. Wurstküche. Very hipster German place on Lincoln.
They have like 40 taps of different beers.
I went there when Germany was playing Mexico, and I think me and all the bus boys were the only people cheering, and Mexico beat Germany. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was 4 years ago, I believe.
Also, excuse me, still coughing. I got over my sickness a week ago, and I still got that fucking residual cough.
Come to New York, get everyone sick.
Bob Pedersen said Mike was incorrect. Tampa Bay is not in second place. They are in first place in the NFC South. So, Greg, you are also incorrect that they are out of the playoffs. Jesus.
I know. I kind of knew that they were still in the running. I kind of said that. But, yeah, I did not guess it was first place. Here, let me call up. Well, whatever. We'll get to it in sports. Because I had a good week. Let's just put it that way. Again. And I think it's like 8 in a row now.
Caroline's in New York City, December 22nd. Come on down. It's going to be my last time performing there. And then Atlanta, the Punchline, January 19th through 21. Portland, Helium, January 26th through 28th. And then Philly, Helium, March 9th through the 11th. Go to fitzdog.com. Get your tickets. Come out and see some live comedy. You know, Mike, you have life insurance, right?
Hold on. Buccaneers are still in first. Okay, go ahead. Yes, I do have life insurance.
A lot of people don't, and it shocks me. When you think about the bills that you pay every month, the fact that you pay for cable channels that you don't even watch, and it's just on your credit card bill, and yet you're not insuring your life so that if you die, your children and spouse are taken care of. You got mortgage payments, childcare. There's all these things. They don't go away when you die. They are left to pay those things. And the insurance that most people get through their workplace is like way short of what you really need. So get it now. The longer you wait, the more expensive it gets. Jump in. You can get some unbelievably cheap rates if you do it when you're younger. Policy Genius gives you a smarter way to buy and find the right coverage for you and your family. If you have life insurance, share your story. Why did you get it? That's what the note says to me. I got it because I love my wife and I don't want to straddle her with debt.
The complete assumption is we will be survived by family.
I did not use Policy Genius to get my life insurance. I wish I had, because they give you all the options. They do all the paperwork. They take the sting out of it. So it was built to modernize the life insurance industry. You can compare life insurance quotes from top companies like AIG and Prudential. Just a few clicks, you get the lowest price. With Policy Genius,
easy. Exactly.
With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $17 per month for $500,000 of coverage. They've got amazing agents that are not incentivized to recommend one insurer over the other. There are no added fees. They've got thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot. Your loved ones deserve a financial safety net. You deserve a smarter way to find and buy it. Head to policygenius.com or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes. See how much you could save. That's policygenius.com.
Nice.
Should we go to the front page?
I think it's time to go to the front page. Merry Christmas, front page. Look at that. Oh, by the way, I should apologize for, my electricity went off in the middle of the podcast last week. And then I popped back. I looked like it was a Halloween. I looked like I was in a Queen video with just my face lit almost like by a flashlight. And what did I light my face with? Oh, I guess that little battery powered one then. Anyway, and the audio was crap. So a big apology, because we had to use the audio from the Zoom.
Your whole area in Santa Monica went out, I guess.
Yeah, when the girls came home, they were like, a guard is like holding up the parking garage gate because that's electric, so no one could get in or out of the building. It was, I don't know, a couple of blocks went dark. I don't know what it was. Probably
struggles of living on the west side.
Yeah, Christmas tree fire, probably. All right, front page.
History has been made at Harvard University as Claudine Gay becomes the first person of color and second woman to be named president of the school. And she's a gay. I don't think she's gay.
Because of her last name?
She's a gay.
She's a gay. She's one of the gays.
They can check that box too. She's gay.
Oh, the Harvard gays? Yeah.
In a new video, she expressed her excitement and gratitude for being elected president. For me, this role is about harnessing the power of ideas and supporting the people who pursue them. Born to Haitian immigrants, she reminisced on the path her parents paved that led to her to pursue a career in academics. So, this is great.
Yeah,
big step. Bigger step is going to be getting her kids into the school because they're black.
Well, she went there. How proud her parents must be that she went to Harvard. Then she taught there for 16 years. And this is the school with the most shameful connection to slavery and racism. Maybe not the most. There's probably some Southern ones, of course, but Harvard has a storied past in racism. And now they've pledged, I think, hiring her, listen, she's an unbelievable candidate. Do not get me wrong. But I can't help but think Harvard is that was the priority, because they only recently recognized their connections to slave. There was like 40 people at Harvard with slaves, or it was whatever it was. But they recently also pledged $100 million to address its historical ties to slavery donors who benefited from slavery. And then the professors at Harvard gave credence to racial superiority theories over the school's 400-year history, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, that is the thing. Like, I got 2 kids in college, and you add up the costs, you know, the tuition and the books and the dorm. But back then you had to buy a slave too. I mean, it really adds up on top of the books.
Yeah, when the kids aren't around to do the chores anymore and stuff.
Right.
You need a little help, like get yourself a slave.
Get a slave, you know? I mean, college would have been
greenlit it.
It would have been so much easier in college. I struggled. If I'd had a slave, oh my God. Just especially one that knew a lot about like French and Renaissance art or U.S. history 101.
Oh man, Greg, you look tired. No, I'm not that tired. My slave pulled an all-nighter, but I think you know it's finals. What else are you gonna do?
Right. All right. Why don't you read your story?
Earth. Oh yeah, Mr. Good News. Merry Christmas. Earth could face a mass extinction by 2100. A supercomputer predicts more than a quarter of the species will die by the end of the century. And the results of this supercomputer projection are that they point to a loss of 10% of all plant and animal species by 2050 and rising to 27% by the end of the century. Meanwhile, other supercomputers are like telling this one, bro, what are you talking about? Didn't you get the memo? We're wiping these fucks off the planet in 26.
Why are you giving them warning? Better they not know. I'll tell you what, my grandkids who will be alive then will be the first to go because they're going to be raised by my kids. And my kids can't even cook a fucking meal on their own. And also, I got to think the Irish, Scottish, English, we're going to go first. With the global warming, we're toast.
Yeah. I mean, we fled to the north. I don't know much about human history and migration, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, the last great extinction, we weren't around yet, right? The last great extinction, dinosaurs and all that. No, man, no Cro-Magnon, no Neanderthal, none of that stuff. I don't, who knows?
Wait, yeah, I always get confused about that. Yeah, there was never, there were no Homo sapiens during dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were before Homo sapiens. And
also, I think I read, fact check us, please, but I'm trying to remember the year-ish that dinosaurs, the existence of dinosaurs was uncovered and discovered. Like, I think I read that George Washington and everyone alive at his time there was no knowledge of dinosaurs.
Oh, no shit. Really?
Yeah, none.
Wow. What did kids play with?
No scientist, anything like that.
Uh-huh.
So think about how weird it was to watch Barney. Like, what is that purple fucking weird animal? Kids just went along with it. I think we found dinosaurs to justify Barney.
Yeah. Yeah, we got these. Up. What are these toys? What are these toys with these weird looking horses with long necks? We don't know. Somebody made them.
And when you call someone like like George Washington, like what a dinosaur with your wooden teeth, like it's a confusing insult.
So this was, here we go. Denman wrote, in 1842, the trailblazing British scientist Richard Owen announced the discovery of the dinosaurs to great acclaim. He described them as immense animals with thick limb bones and strong reinforced hips. Just like you, Mike.
I am a dinosaur. I've always said that.
Yeah.
With my new fucking strong Pistorius hips.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, it's worth checking. I'm saying, by the way, I know I always do, but I'm noticing it. Anyway, I recently watched Cat Williams' bit on Pistorius with his ting, 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 ting legs. Like everyone else is stretching. He's just like ting, 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 just like walking around. He doesn't have to stretch and just ting, 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 ting. And and then he was gone. Like everyone's making fun of him. Pat Williams is one of my absolute, it's insulting to say it's a guilty pleasure. He is so smart and funny. It's incredible.
I know, because he's such a madman, people just assume that he's stupid, but he's actually very intelligent.
Well, he does a lot of stupid things,
Yes.
It's all the, the possession and all that. And,
Right.
He fought like a kid at one point at a height. Anyway, it was.
Oh, and he would just not show up for shows. Just always late. I mean, he always goes on like an hour late. And then sometimes he just doesn't show up at all.
Right.
So a woman in Michigan is facing charges for allegedly sending hateful and bullying messages to teenage students, including her own daughter, under a fake name and number. Kendra Licari of Michigan faces 5 charges, including stalking a minor and obstruction of justice. The shocking charges come after a year-long investigation into a complaint after Licari's teenage daughter and her boyfriend reported getting harassing messages. The 42-year-old woman allegedly used software to hide her location and several numbers to hide who she was. But isn't every parent by nature a stalker? That's our job. You literally stalk your child. You track their locations on their phone. You read their emails. You drive past the party they're at to make sure it's not out of control.
Yeah, I don't want my kids stalking me. So anyway, I am fortunate enough where other people are stalking my kids, like their mom. I have no tracking devices on them, but my sister does too. But it's whatever. This is old news, but they'll be like, Sophie left the game early. They can see in Michigan where she's walking on campus, or if they're saying they're going to the library and all of a sudden you see they're on frat row, like you can see that, I think, on Snapchat and all these, and obviously, follow your friends and all that and I don't do any of that.
That is so crazy. I know. Aaron will tell me that Owen, same thing. Owen left the concert early and Owen's not at class. And I'm like, oh my God, he's 22 years old. You got to let it go.
Although I wouldn't mind a 42-year-old mom stalking me. Bring it on. I like this story. What does she look like? Do we have a picture? Kendra. Licari.
A protester shut down a recent event geared towards neurodiverse children at a branch of the New York Public Library and met with a wall of counter-protesters.
Okay.
The standoff over the Drag Story Hour event, a popular national storytelling program where drag performers read children's books at libraries, schools, and bookstores.
Before they burn the books.
Took place outside the Andrew Haskell Braille Library in Manhattan's Chelsea neighborhood.
I'm right near it.
So the event was billed as story time with local drag performers, adopted to be more accessible to kids with autism and other disabilities. That sounds like a nice idea.
Yeah.
So it says that the protest was just the latest in a string of standoffs across the country, from a fringe movement targeting drag events over unsubstantiated allegations of grooming. Grooming. Of course they're drag queens. Of course they're doing a lot of grooming. But it's not fucking kids for sex. They're grooming their pubic hair so it doesn't pop out of their miniskirts, or trying to get a tight shave on that 5 o'clock shadow.
By the way, which is the fringe movement? The one protesting it, or the drag story event? That sounds pretty fringe as well.
It sounds like the event needs to be on every news. I mean, it sounds like a great story. And by the way, this isn't Mobile, Alabama. This is fucking Chelsea, the gayest neighborhood in New York. Half the kids' fathers wake up with eyeshadow and lipstick on. I think they're over it.
All right. I'm gonna try to catch one of these events. Drag Story Hour. I'm gonna go with Tom tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to read this next one just to give some sense that you did something this week?
You're gonna give me the swastika story?
Yeah. Why don't you do it?
The New York Times has defended the design of a crossword after many Twitter users compared it to a swastika. The crossword appeared in Sunday's edition of America's Paper of Record and drew particular attention as it was published on the first night of Hanukkah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Bad timing. A host of prominent Jewish and non-Jewish figures, meaning everybody, I guess, have voiced their outrage, and it caused quite a stir on social media. And Donald Trump Jr., son of the former president, wrote, "Disgusting. Only the New York Times would get Hanukkah going with this is the crossword puzzle." That's a quote.
With this as the crossword. Can a Trump member write a tweet without a misspelling or a grammatical error?
Yeah, I think it should be as, not is. But yeah. Wow. Listen, I was just disappointed how easy the puzzle was. One down, 4 letters, rhymes with Yahtzee. I mean, come on. This is the Sunday crossword.
Yeah.
And it was a little fun to complete the puzzle. 52 down was last answer. It took forever, but it was final solution. And that filled out a lot of boxes.
Yes,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The final
It was
solution.
fun. It was fun.
It's just so ridiculous. I mean, I saw the picture of the puzzle, and it's like, yeah, it's a swastika, but they didn't plan it. I mean, I suppose the tattoo on my left shoulder is a swastika as well.
You mean the swastika?
It's an X. The artist put a little flair on it, but it's an X. Yeah. And I guess walking with my legs straight isn't just a hip exercise. It means something. I'm sick of this woke shit.
Your rigid hellos, those waves straight up above your head to the neighbors, yeah.
And when I say that we should exterminate the Jews, I mean we should support exterminators getting rid of their rodents and the bugs.
You can't even get through a sentence with all that anti-Semitism dripping out of your mouth. Wait, that dumb joke. I don't have many, but in stand-up I would do that I consider my body a temple, not because I work out or take care of it, just because there's swastikas scrawled all over it. That joke's on the right side of history, I think.
That's right.
Yeah. Poor temples.
All right, let's go down to good news for Gubbins.
All right. Well, I asked you when we hooked up this Zoom. By the way, I have to apologize for audio again. I have been recording good audio with this microphone in my hand for almost 7 minutes now. Either I didn't press record or it turned off because the power switch. So we're using my shitty audio for the top of the podcast. Anyway.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. It's Christmas, man. So before we started recording, way before I started recording, I asked you if you had heard from Gubbins at all, and I'd say this is the first week that we haven't.
Well, it's because we're recording on Tuesday, and the podcast just came out 2 days ago, and sometimes he doesn't get to it right away. But obviously, last week we had his best friend on the podcast, yes. Which we really thought would drive him absolutely crazy. And no response. So he hasn't listened to the podcast yet.
Or he has.
Right. I at his house.
He might have listened to it.
He had a pizza party a few days ago. And
I know I was supposed to go, but all the power was off. And then I had to deal with stuff with my daughters and all getting their car in, blah, blah, blah.
So he had a pizza party, and then he starts... it's just a fun game. He's got this fun game with like bowling pins that have numbers on them in the backyard, and you throw the thing. And I mean, there's 20 people, and he's explaining the rules, and it was like watching a madman have a complete mental breakdown, trying to explain the rules. He gets so angry that everybody doesn't know the rules already, and if anybody asks a question, he completely snaps. He does that thing where he doesn't answer. He just looks straight down and shakes his head like you're a bad child. So
disappointing to him.
Yeah. And then he got knocked out of his own game first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which made him have to
wait.
Smoke
He
some
wrote
more pot.
He wrote me a text. I'm looking for it here, where he said he won 2 of the games.
He got knocked out of the other 2. He was the loser in 2.
Oh, all right. Well, I should have been there. Remember, I won both games, 2 out of 2 when we were all over there.
Wow, you're really impressive, Mike.
I'm a super impressive guy, except when it comes to recording the podcast.
So this guy Ron says, "Hey now, I vote to never have on Gubbins. Love the idea, but that we don't know who the hell the guy is, and that you guys keep talking about him and messing with him. Best case scenario, he comes on. Well, I'm not even going to get into what this guy's scenario is because I think we might actually engage in his idea. So thanks for the note, Ron.
All right. Yeah, Ron.
Are we going to do anything else?
Where are we going? We're skipping
Let's
entertainment.
Go down to make Florida.
Yeah, you go.
Make America Florida.
This one I love. December 7th. The suspect, identified as Anthony Thomas Tarduno, 48 years old, left a bar on Northcliffe Boulevard around 4:30 p.m. It's
That's
light
pretty
out.
early. Yeah.
At which point he spontaneously decided to set a police car on fire.
And
Quote,
that's the key to life. Be spontaneous.
You don't know what's out there. Just get out there, man. I know sometimes it feels overwhelming to, get out of your rut and leave the house, but you're going to feel better as soon as you go outside like this guy did. While walking, Tarduno noticed the patrol vehicle and decided he'd like to set it on fire, said the Hernando County Sheriff. Quote, he went to a nearby dumpster and grabbed a bag of garbage. Tarduno then placed the bag under the patrol car and used a lighter to set it ablaze.
By the way, only in Florida can you just guarantee that whatever's in that bag is kindling. It's flammable. It's Florida.
Yeah, it's human body parts. After setting the cruiser aflame, the offender returned to the bar.
To celebrate.
Here's my favorite part. Quote, several minutes later, Tarduno said he felt bad and returned to the scene to confess, said deputies. During his interview, the offender claimed he was intoxicated and that he does, quote, stupid things whenever he's drunk.
No, stupid things are texting an ex, picking a fight with a bouncer, shopping online. No, he does Florida things when he's drunk, not stupid things.
Florida things when he's drunk. What a sweet guy, though, guys. I'm sorry. And the juxtaposition between a madman getting a bag, lighting it on fire under a car, and then he being so, guys, can you ever forgive me? I do stupid things.
Yeah. And he goes back to the bar thinking, I'm going to really celebrate. I'm going to enjoy this drink. And halfway through, it's just not tasting right. He's not feeling good about himself.
I should go out and confess.
Oh, my God.
Love it.
Think about the charges. Arson, first of all, is a major charge. Arson is like 10 years in jail. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think this was just
Fucking
another day.
Police property. Oh, my God. Yeah, this guy's going away for a while. I hate to do it, but we got to do sports.
Yeah, we do. And I love it.
Sad crinkle of the paper as I announced the bet is now I'm down $400.
Yes, sir.
Last week,
Tampa Bay is still in first, and there's 3 more weeks.
Last week, they blew a 14-0 lead in the first half to Cincinnati.
I did not know that because I was on a plane that had no Wi-Fi. So I just eventually saw that they lost terribly, and I'm like, oh, man. But I had no idea they were 14-0.
Well, it's getting out of hand. This is getting to where it's like really affecting my family's finances.
Sorry that your Christmas is going to suck. Sorry, kids.
Next week, they're playing the Arizona Cardinals and giving.
Oh, you got this.
How is it that we're giving 4 points to the Cardinals?
Because you're a first-place team. You're killing it.
We're less than 500. We're under 500.
Yeah, you are. Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
I love it. I love it.
I'm just wondering whether I should double the bet just because I kind of have to at this point.
So, wow, I didn't even put it together. I mean, today's Christmas. They're playing today, all those NFL teams, Christmas Day?
No, Christmas week, I think they usually play games on Saturday as well. I think they do a couple games over the weekend. I could be wrong.
Oh, wow. Yeah, look at me. Real sports guy. They're all on Saturday.
Yeah.
All right, so it's already. The fun thing is, no. Sorry. Buccaneers Cardinals. Sunday night. Christmas night in Arizona.
Oh, that's going to ruin my fucking Christmas.
I can't wait.
Do I go 100? Do I go 100? It feels like the right thing to do because they can't keep losing this much.
He's the savior. This is his day.
Three games total
He's
on
Christ-like.
Okay.
But you are that day. Maybe you tell your kids, you bet $100. You tell your kids, don't take the toys or gifts out of their wrappers. Just keep them in there till around 10 o'clock tonight.
How old
and
do
then
you
I'll
think
let
my
you know.
children are? My kids' toys?
Yeah. Don't.
We got my son.
I'm going to hold on to the batteries. I'm going to hold on to the batteries. We're not going to put them in your toys until we get a result of this game.
We bought him a flask. Here's what my son got this year because we exchanged gifts last night since we're leaving town and we didn't want to bring the gifts to New York. So my son got a flask from my wife. He got a recipe book for drinks from my daughter, and he got an ice cube maker for mixed drinks. Like, yeah, we're kind of honing in on his personality at this point.
Nice. All from an alcoholic dad.
All right, let's go to international.
You got it, pal. I thought this story was interesting. Overrun Amsterdam targets sex and drugs tourists with, quote, stay away campaign. The latest round of proposed measures includes initiatives targeting troublesome tourist behavior, such as limiting the number of river cruises, implementing earlier closing times for bars, clubs, and window brothels, and banning cannabis smoking in certain parts of the city. Well, I think it's going to work. This sounds like a drag now. Another part of the initiative focuses on, quote, actively discouraging international visitors with plans to go wild in Amsterdam, which has been dubbed as the Stay Away campaign.
Wow.
Yeah.
A victim of their own success. Here, I have an idea where they can stop this behavior and make up for the lost revenue. You set up 200 cameras on the streets and a website called Watch Your Man in Amsterdam. And the hidden cameras are in brothels, ATMs. Anybody would log on just to watch the depravity in Amsterdam on any given night.
Yeah, man. I think that's a good idea. Now, the window brothels are where you literally go window shopping?
Yeah, I was in Amsterdam once.
I've never been to Amsterdam.
They have curtains, and they're like standing in a room with a bed, and they stand at the window, and they're wearing like negligee. And then if you like them, you go ring their doorbell. You go inside. They close the curtain. And then I imagine you have intercourse and fellatio with them.
Huh.
And then you pay them money. And then you leave and they open the curtains back up again.
Wow.
I don't believe they changed the sheets. So you want to go early in the day.
Every Amsterdam story I've heard, almost all of them are... the person has gotten overserved with marijuana and has a freak out.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of
that. What is it? Hash bars, I guess? Whatever it is, they get in over their head, stoned, right, and walking around the city and trying to soothe themselves by looking at the rivers and stuff like that. The canals, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how many other cities in Europe allow prostitution and cannabis.
Right. I don't know. Is Europe going the way of America where recreational weed is becoming...
I think so.
I guess so. I think this country, listen, the opiate of the masses is now literally opiate. It's the drugs. The drugs of the masses is drugs. That's what happened. Not enough people are religious, so the government's like, yeah, man, please get high. Because if you're really feeling what you're going through right now, it's not going to be good.
No.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Yeah. All right, let's get to this day in history.
There it is.
Obviously, the top story of this day in history we're not going to cover because we all know that sweet little baby was born under a star, and his mother was a virgin. His mother never had sex. She had a baby
same
through.
With mine.
There was a spirit in the sky that knocked her up. And the real miracle was that Joseph didn't kick her out in the street for being a whore.
Mary, the first surrogate.
So the other story is 1914. Just after midnight on Christmas morning, the majority of German troops engaged in World War I ceased firing their guns and artillery and commenced to sing Christmas carols. At certain points along the eastern and western fronts, the soldiers of Russia, France, and Britain even heard brass bands joining the Germans in their joyous singing. At the first light of dawn, many of the German soldiers emerged from their trenches and approached the Allied lines across no man's land, calling out Merry Christmas in their enemies' native tongues. At first, the Allied soldiers feared it was a trick, but seeing the Germans unarmed, they climbed out of their trenches and shook hands with the enemy soldiers. The men exchanged presents of cigarettes and plum pudding and sang carols and songs. There was even a documented case of soldiers from opposing sides playing a good-natured game of soccer. The so-called Christmas truce of 1914 came only 5 months after the outbreak of war and was one of the last examples of the outdated notion of chivalry between enemies in warfare. So that's kind of a magic thing that happened.
Well, it clearly had a lasting effect. I mean, the Germans were still gregarious and just wishing everybody, tidings of joy about 20 years later.
Yeah, it's amazing how the Germans really learned their lesson from World War I,
Yeah. They really leaned into the Christian thing in World War II. They really leaned away. Anyone who didn't celebrate Christmas, the Germans were furious at.
Yes.
Fury or furious.
Furious.
Yes.
Furr.
Well, this reminds me, this is not a joke, but this reminds me of Argentina up 2-0. They're all crying, and I mean, what a relief. And your game isn't even half over. Like, how do you go back in those trenches the next day and try to kill each other?
Yep.
I don't even know how that happens. You've just put a human face on the experience and literally bonded.
Yep. And, most American wars have been about bombing and killing people of other colors. And that's what's so unique about the world wars is it was white people killing white people. And those days are over. Now it's just purely exploiting and destroying and helping other third world countries kill themselves.
Yeah, it's got
Merry Christmas, everybody.
There it is again.
Let's do some letters to the editor.
Ka-ching.
I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but you guys talked about cutting off your nose to spite your face with regards to that movie.
I'm never using that phrase again. Go ahead.
That movie was the Banshees of Inisherin. Mike was saying he was cutting off his fingers to spite Colin Farrell's character, not to spite himself. That just isn't true. I've watched it 3 times now. I think it's the best movie of the year, and he's just using Colin Farrell's character as an excuse to cut off his fingers. He's actually doing it because he realizes he'll never write a great song, and he's never going to be a genius, but at least he'll have an excuse if he's missing most of his fingers. Huh.
Wow.
That's from Andy.
Well, we shouldn't spoil it, but the sister kind of speaks to that a little bit during the movie. The movie has kind of stayed with me. It might be that slow pace and the beautiful setting.
I want to watch it again. I don't watch a lot of movies twice, but right away. But I think I'm going to watch that one again.
Colin Farrell is so good in it.
Yeah.
I have not gone back to that cannibal movie, although my youngest, oddly, is telling me, it's a love story, and apparently it's very good. I mean, it has the top people, in Hollywood behind the scenes and in front of the camera. So,
but I think he could win an Oscar because, according to the Pineapple Express, not Pineapple Express. What was the movie with Ben Stiller where Robert Downey Jr. went into blackface?
Yeah. I'll get it in a second. Right.
So he's like Tropic
Thunder.
And he said, if you want to win an Oscar, you gotta go retard, but don't go full tard. And his Colin Farrell's character is, I don't know if you'd call him mentally disabled, but he's slow.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That must be so confusing for the woke crew when they see that scene of a man in blackface saying the word retarded. It's like, wait, where do I even start?
Yeah.
I think retarded gets a pass.
Yeah.
When he's in blackface.
This is from Michael Osborne. I bet everyone thought that when Will Smith said, "You keep my wife's name out of your mouth," that it was an original line. Will said it March 2022, 1 month earlier, February 4th, 2022, on the first episode of Reacher on Amazon Prime. In the first minute, the actor Malcolm Goodwin says to the actor Alan Richardson, who is playing Jack Reacher, "You keep my wife's name out of your mouth." I would like to suggest that Will Smith saw that episode the night before the Oscars and thought it was a great line. Michael Osborne.
Interesting.
Well,
that is some coincidence if it's unrelated. So
yeah.
I'm with Michael on this.
Yeah. Fuck.
But I think it was, I think he was also going ghetto, for lack of a better expression, but that's the shortest way to say it. And I think that's why he screamed it so specifically like that.
Yeah.
Twice. And, because it's I think he's self-conscious about sort of, everyone would call DJ Jazzy, like just the whitest rap. Yeah. And he's been, anyway, whatever. I think he did that on purpose, but that's interesting if that aired. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get to the funnies.
Help wanted? Oh, the funnies.
Let's do the funnies.
We're moving this along.
Moving it along. Quick one today, folks. This is Hagar the Horrible, and he's walking through a snowstorm with Lucky. He goes, "This is the only time of the year when I miss not having a 9-to-5 job." Lucky goes, "Why?" And Hagar goes, "I never get to go to an office Christmas party." Can you imagine Hagar the Horrible at an office Christmas party?
Can you imagine HR dealing with Hagar the Horrible at a Christmas party?
I mean, usually someone spikes the punch. He rapes. That's a way different thing.
Hagar, yeah. The entire marketing division is going into HR on Monday about all the rape at the Christmas party.
Yeah. He's sitting at his cubicle on Monday, and it's like, Hagar the Horrible to the human resources, please.
Again.
And he just has to sit there and go, look at my job application. I wrote my name. Hagar the Horrible. You hired me. What did you expect?
Exactly. Yeah, right. Hey, how about this guy here? And the New York Times, while I'm here in New York, it was front page. That guy, I should know his name. I put it in here somewhere. He ran for office out on Long Island, won, and it was part of the big story about how New York went red for the first time in many places. His whole resume was a lie. He said he worked at Goldman Sachs. There's no record. He said he was like honors somewhere. There's no record of them at that school. And it's like, if you lied on your McDonald's resume, it sounds like the Chris Rock bit, like Marion Barry when he was the mayor of Washington, D.C. and he did crack. And it's like, and then he was reelected. He got his job back. It's like, if you work at Wendy's, wasn't that Chris Rock's routine? If you work at Wendy's and you do crack, you're fired. You're not hired back ever.
Right.
If you lie on a resume to any job, you are fired as soon as they find that out.
Well, Hey,
he can
look.
still go to Washington?
Donald Trump said that he had like all A's in college, and then he sued the college when they were going to release his grades. You know, his resume was a little sticky also.
Oh my God, yeah.
Let's get to George Santos is the guy's name.
Yes, George Santos.
The Lockhorns, Leroy and Loretta are standing in front of a fire and a Christmas tree, and Loretta opens up a present, and it's like a weird doll, and she goes, "I know it's the thought that counts, Leroy, but what were you thinking?"
I like it.
And now it's Christmas night. Leroy is about to carve the turkey, and he goes, "Stand back while I carve the gravy."
It's a good one. I like it. Oh, God. Wait, how did a family circus wind up in here? Chris put this in?
I guess so.
All right. I'm not reading the caption. I'm looking at the picture. It's the Christmas tree in the family living room, and they are trimming the tree. They are decorating it and putting ornaments on. Everyone has boxes open with ornaments. The dad's putting on tinsel. And in the foreground, you have the two redheaded kids, the sister and the brother.
It's Billy and
the
Sally.
sister's pie hole is open, and she is holding a box, and she is saying something to the fat redheaded kid. And all right, it's tournaments. I'm trying to think. It's probably a mispronunciation of ornaments. Like, be careful with these tournaments. They're going to break. I feel bad even saying that. It's so lame. But all right, let's see what it is.
It's better than what's there.
No, that can't be. Here it is. It's a lot more fun decorating than it is undecorating. Oh my God. Like, you're right. Mine was better. It's atrocious.
It's atrocious. And look at the faces on the parents. They never, ever smiled. They are miserable with these stupid, flat, uninteresting children that they've bred.
They have these are the worst kids, of course. And I would be like that. I mean, imagine living in such an unfunny comic. Yeah, right. I would never smile. The artist couldn't even put one on my face.
Yeah. Right.
Try putting a funny line in my mouth. Try that first, then I'll smile.
I think he draws it on a computer, and the computer reads the caption and auto-corrects the facial expressions to bored.
Well, wait, couldn't AI? I mean, isn't AI writing everything now? It's writing Beyonce songs. It's making us all look like AI could write this now. It's amazing what AI is writing.
AI writes Beyonce's songs?
All right, dude, next week or whenever we're doing this show again, I am going to find these AI examples. Oh, it was like NPR was doing a thing, and it was like, so could AI write a Beyonce song? And the guy's like, of course, like obviously in 2 seconds. And he's like, what should it be about? So the journalist goes, I don't know, love. And he's like, that's too easy. And he's like, okay, cheeseburgers. The AI wrote a Beyonce song about cheeseburgers using all of her typical writing, styles. And
she
came up with a
recorded
Beyonce
it?
song. No. I'm just saying it produces it in seconds. Yeah. But it could be like, can you write an apology letter to my mom because I didn't go home for Christmas? AI is going to write that letter.
Well, you can get papers in college written by AI that are perfect grammar and factual and annotated and well constructed, and they're like, it's over. It's all over. Why are we spending money sending our kids to college? And they're all using that shit. They all cheat their asses off. My son took a class in wine appreciation last semester. Did I tell you that?
No, good thing he got a flask. Looks like he's going to have to get a decanter now.
Jesus Christ. Wine appreciation.
Meanwhile, AI is going to rat on all of them. I wrote his paper.
Right. Yeah.
All right, The Far Side. I was looking for my favorite Far Side, which I'll try to find for next week. But I love there's a couple where women have outrageously big hair, and I like them. But anyway, this one is woman is in a castle, and this round, type of castle, and she's sitting at a desk, and she's doing her hair and it is the largest hot red or orange afro you've ever seen. And she's looking towards the window where you see noise coming in the window, and it's Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. But she just did it in the biggest fro possible.
I love the facial. By the way, what in the original, did Rapunzel let her hair down and a guy fucking pulled on it and pulled himself up by her scalp?
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I think that's the story.
Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know how that helps them. How the hell do they get out? Are they both then trapped up there?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh, you know what? He could. This is almost like one of those riddles. He could let her down as long as he's pulling her hair. He could slowly let her down by just, shimmying. She's shimmying down as he's holding her hair. But then he's stuck up there. He could tie her hair to something in the room, and then he could slide down her hair, and then I guess they cut her hair. There, I just solved the riddle.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of riddles, Blondie and Dagwood are still together. And in this comic, they are standing there, and he's got on a red sweater for Christmas, and she has on a Kelly green skirt with a light green sweater. She looks delightful. Mm-hmm. And he says, I've tested out our LED Christmas lights. And then he goes, now it's time to test out the mistletoe. There's mistletoe above their head. He bends her down almost to the ground, and there's a big kiss icon. And then in the next one, she's sitting on the floor with hearts around her head, and she goes, boy, that's some great mistletoe. And he goes, you're welcome. And he walks off. Who the fuck is that guy? What? What?
And you're welcome?
He spikes the mic after it?
Greg, it seems like you might have stayed there a little longer and done a little more with your wife.
It seems to me that that's called foreplay. The mistletoe is what gets you into the camel toe.
Oh, God.
Hey, now.
Hey, now. Oh, boy.
All right. Well, listen. Merry Christmas once again, and a special happy holidays to all our friends at Midcoast Media.
Absolutely.
Key and...
it's
Steve,
a
Jimmy,
big holiday for the
Beth,
Christian right. It's a big holiday for the Christian right.
John.
Christian right.
Yes. And thank you guys this year for listening. This is our last podcast of the year. We're going to take off next week for New Year's Eve, and we're going to come back to you the first week of January with our annual predictions. We'll pay off last year's predictions, see who is more correct in all of our predictions for the year, and make new ones for 2023.
Yep.
And I want to thank you guys for all the support this year, telling your friends about the show, giving us nice shout-outs on Apple Podcasts, etc.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We had a blast. We had a fun year. And we'll come back to you next year even stronger, even better.
Even better. I'm going to get my audio done correctly. I'm thrown when I'm in a darkly lit, dimly lit, romantically lit hotel room.
Maybe start wearing some proper makeup.
Who, me or you?
You.
Oh, why? Is it not proper right now?
No, you were complaining about your face when we started the podcast.
Oh, yeah, I got to ice it because I've been enjoying some spirits.
How much is a cocktail in New York these days?
Well, it's not as much. Honestly, it's not as much as Santa Monica. It's LA's lost its mind.
Yeah.
Last night I wound up in. Never mind. Well, whatever. I'll tell it. If you're in New York, go into Grand Central Station, which is amazing at Christmas anyway, and there is a bar in the upper corner of the big great room. And
the Oyster House, right?
Well, no, the Oyster House is there, but the Campbell Apartments. The Campbell apartment, which was literally an apartment of this guy Campbell, and it's a bar now, and it is the best setting. It's like this hotel room. It's dimly lit. It's old. It feels like if you took a photo in there, it'd be like, oh, this is really, truly, authentically, it seems like from the 30s or 40s.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great.
And then you dropped into Tom's old haunt in Little Italy for a drink.
And so I take a selfie showing Tom that I'm in Milano's, one of the oldest bars, if not the oldest bar on Houston. And that's his favorite thing. It's like absolutely a hallway when you walk in. To your right is chairs of a bunch of drunks. To the left is a wall. And you have, no joke, about 2 feet.
Yeah. You have to shimmy down the bar.
Yeah, maybe 2.5 feet between the backs of the chairs and the wall. And then it opens up just a little bit, not much, in the back. And then there's, like a high top table and stuff. So anyway, Tom goes, I'm right on the wall where you're standing. And so I looked on the wall forever. I couldn't find the picture of him, but I found an old man on the wall and I said, found you. And I sent him that picture.
Yeah, I spent a lot of nights in that bar with him. We had a lot of good times. All right, listen, happy holidays.
The best part about not going with Tom to that bar is that you are not hearing the 20 Patti Smith songs that he puts on the jukebox.
Right.
That's the best part.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody. Happy New Year, too.
Happy New Year.
And take it easy, 2022.
Take it easy.
You're all about the weekly news. Well, Greg and Mike keep us amused by telling jokes, try not to lie. We'll fact check them some other time. Extra, extra, read all about it. Show will soon begin.
Take it easy.
Hot off the press, the Sunday Papers podcast with Mike and Fitzsimmons.